Everybody's falling in love and I'm falling behind.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到我的频道，我是 Agnes。看到我呢，就知道今天又是歌手访问的系列啦。然后这是我的猫，它是丁满，好，它就是不想下来。那今天的歌手访问呢，我觉得这位来宾算是非常非常重量级的，因为他5月底的时候才在台北开完他的第一次来台演唱会，然后他的门票真的是开卖就sold out的那一种。那如果你今天有在听爵士，或是你有在关注独立音乐的话，你应该多少听过他的音乐。他就是来自冰岛的中国混血歌手Laufey。好，那今天真的非常开心，可以有这个机会访问到Laufey。不过呢，我必须先跟大家道个歉，就是我觉得我访问他的时候真的是太紧张了，然后又很怕时间来不及，所以我就忘记问他关于新专辑的问题，我真的是大白痴。但还是希望其他的访问内容你们会喜欢啦，对。然后呢，我自己本人有去他5月底在台北的演唱会，然后我只能说他真的是一个非常有魅力的人，应该说就是整场演出就只有他跟乐器，就是他没有乐团来伴奏，就是他自己自弹自唱。然后无论是他唱歌啊，还是中间跟观众的 talking， 就是他的举手投足都非常的可爱，然后就是很难不被他的魅力折服这样。而且因为我刚刚讲前面有提到他是中国混血嘛，所以他其实会讲中文，他会讲一点点中文，然后他的中文名字是冰冰。访问完他，我真的是觉得他就是一个超可爱的人，真的是连我这个女生我的心都快融化了。好，那我们就废话不多说，赶快来看访问吧。
Hi, my name is Laufey, and I'm a singer-songwriter from Iceland, and I live in LA, and I'm also half Chinese. And my latest single is called Promise. It's a piano ballad about needing to cut someone off, but not really being able to. Yeah.
Hurts to be something, it's worse to be nothing with you.
Congratulations that all of your concert tickets are sold out, and how do you feel about it?
It's so amazing. I never would have expected it. It's so fun to get to go to these new territories that I've never been to before and sell out shows. It's very surreal, and I'm very honored.
Actually, I went to your concert in Taipei, and I think it was amazing. Like, your beautiful voice and the crowd and the vibe, everything was just so perfect. And how do you feel about Taipei? Any memorable experience? Because I know your flight was delayed, and I'm so happy you made it.
I went straight from the airport because my airplane was so delayed, and we were floating around Taipei for so long because of the typhoon. And so we landed and went straight to the concert, and then I went to the hotel room afterwards, and I woke up and flew to Singapore the next morning. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see anything, which was so sad because I was so looking forward to like running around Taipei and like trying the food, and I've heard so much about like the night markets and just the culture there. So I think all the more reason to go back and enjoy it.
Welcome back anytime soon.
Yeah. Next time I come, I'll speak better Chinese too.
I'm very surprised at because I think your Chinese pretty well.
I have all the vocabulary of like a 5-year-old because I spoke like only Chinese until I was 5, and then I started learning other languages. So I still speak like a 5-year-old. But I think, if I were to come and like live in Taipei or something for half a year, I would be perfect. Maybe a year.
I love Valentine, your song Valentine, and I know this song is about like you met someone that you really like, but you are just afraid to actually fall in love with that person. And what inspired you to write these songs, and is there any romantic story?
Well, Valentine is kind of funny. So I wrote it on Valentine's Day 2 years ago, and 2021. And I'd actually never been in love at that point, and I was just thinking what it would feel like for me to fall in love, because it was Valentine's Day. It was kind of a joke, and I posted a little bit of it on the internet, and it kind of went viral, and everyone was like, oh, we want to hear the rest of the song. And so I finished it, and as a surprise I released it the Valentine's Day after that. So that's kind of how that all came around. But yeah, I think because I'm 24 now and I'd never been in love, it's like my first reaction to getting, any kind of affection or love is to run away a little bit and just be like, oh, like, I don't deserve this. Like, I don't deserve this and I'm scared of it, so I'm just gonna run away. And that's kind of what the song is about. But also kind of like, I remember thinking, oh, maybe next year I'll have a Valentine. I didn't, but I thought it was a fun thought. Yeah.
I'm single too. I know you. I can feel you.
Yeah, it's a common struggle.
Yeah, it's like I also love falling behind. You just speak my mind.
Yeah, I think from writing songs about my experience and releasing them, I've found that humans are a lot more similar than you would think. People just don't. I think musicians tend to write about being so deeply in love or being so deeply hurt, but actually the experience of being like a young person in and out of love is this in between of feeling like you're, falling behind. So
yes,
that's what I tend to write about.
Did you use 3 words to describe your album, Everything I Know About Love?
Ooh, I would say hopeless romantic, enchanting, and a little bit funny.
Which songs from this record would you recommend to people?
I mean, all of them. But, Fragile is probably my favorite song on the album, at least right now. I go through cycles, but Fragile is cool. Yeah.
So you have worked with so many incredible musicians like Dodi, Adam Melcher, and many different orchestras. And I absolutely love the song And Christmas that you did with Alexander 23. He's also coming to Taipei in August, and I think this collaboration is really cool. I like how you combine each of your unique styles in this song. So could you share more about these songs?
Yeah, well, Alexander has been a buddy for a while, and I remember he was one of the first people, like, when I hadn't released my EP or anything, and like he just followed me on Instagram, and I remember being like, oh my god, Alexander 23 just followed me on Instagram. And when I first got to LA, like the first time I visited there, I like hung out with him, and he was so nice and so welcoming. And probably one of the reasons I have like most of my friends in LA right now is because of him, because he just introduced me to so many people. So it's like a really good brother in that way. And he when Christmas came around last year, he sent me this song that he'd written, and it was so beautiful. And he was like, do you want to sing on it? And I was like, oh my god, of course. And so I actually recorded it in Iceland. And I sent it over, and I did some cello stuff, and yeah, so that's kind of. And I've also played cello for some of his songs before, and it's always such a joy working with him.
And my next question is quite interesting. If your life was a movie, what songs would be on the soundtrack?
I mean, I won't say my songs because I guess they illustrate my life pretty well. So, but I think a lot of jazz songs, definitely. Some Taylor Swift songs. I'm like a big Swiftie. Really?
Yes, I just got her pre-sale code today for Eras Tour. But just
my god.
But I think I'm
going to a concert in LA at the end in August, and I'm like so excited. So I love her. Definitely I would see some of her music as well, and then definitely some classical music as well. Some of the dramatic symphonies.
the next few questions are from your fans, and the first one is from Claire, and she wants to know if you could collaborate with any deceased musician, who would you choose, and what kind of song do you think you'll come up with together?
Ooh, okay. Well, thank you to Claire for that great question. I think it would definitely be Chet Baker, just because Chet Baker's my favorite musician. I think we could do some killer cello trumpet stuff. And I think we'd be able to, yeah, I would love to sing with Chet Baker.
Okay.
I say as if it's a possibility, but, you know, you never know.
Yes.
Computers are so advanced nowadays. You never know what you can do.
The next question is from Samantha, and her question is, what book are you into these days?
Ooh, I've been reading a book called Tomorrow and Tomorrow that I've gotten quite engrossed in. It's like about these two kids in Boston who like make a video game and kind of go through like the fame arc of being like video game creators. That's been quite interesting. I've enjoyed it. It's like a good airplane read because it really draws you into that world. But what else? That's what I've been reading most recently. I read a book called Rebecca again recently, which is one of my favorite books. And actually Taylor Swift references Rebecca a lot in folklore. So, or in Evermore, sorry. Or in both, actually. But that was really cool because I managed to connect like the Taylor Swift lyrics to things that are written in Rebecca. And it was kind of like a cool, almost like a lesson for me on how to like connect literature to song.
Okay, so I just come up with the random questions. Are you more
go
into folklore or evermore?
Okay, that you see, I would have answered that probably differently last year than right now. I've been really into evermore recently. Really?
But,
okay.
But every
Maybe
species I met, they always, I think they more like folklore than evermore.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. Evermore has Gold Rush in it, which is such a banger. That was my most listened to song last year. Champagne Problems is so good. Also, the bonus tracks, Right Where You Left Me, I think that is some of the best songwriting to ever exist, and it's terribly underrated. Not that Taylor Swift is underrated at all.
I just think the whole album is so underrated.
It's so good. I love it. I'm Evermore leaning, but I mean.
But I'm also love folklore. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's back to the fans' questions. And Evelyn wants to know, what's your favorite Chet Baker album?
My favorite Chet Baker album is my answer is usually and classically the Chet Baker sings Everything Happens to You album. It's like the cover is a photo of Chet Baker sitting with like a woman on a moon chair thing. And it was definitely like a little inspiration behind my new album, Bewitched. But yeah, I think that's probably my favorite one. But then there's one, I think it's Chet Baker, Embraceable You. I believe it's that one. And it's really simple arrangements. I think a lot of it is just like classical guitar and voice. So beautiful, like very refined, very intentional, but very beautiful. It's like good lullabies.
The last question is from Teddy, and he wants to know, where do you find your inspiration in your life?
Well, I think I take inspiration from everything. Like I always have, either my phone or a notebook with me, and whenever I see something, like I could be like walking down the street and I see like a tree, and I'll write down tree. It's like I take very directly from like my own life, and I don't even try to hide it. Like it's very direct. So yeah, I think just what inspires me the most is like people. I think people and cities, like how they communicate, how I fall in and out of love, how others fall in and out of love, and friendships, and yeah, just a lot of just human connection and communication. I'm very, interested in that.
So that's the end of my interview. Thank you so much.
Alright, 谢谢 Thank you so much.
And hope see you very, very soon.
Yeah, 再见。
好啦，看完访问是不是真的觉得雷贝很可爱呢？我真的是，我自己在剪片的时候，我心真的是快要融化了，我没有骗人。然后我觉得我自己忘记，然后没有问他新专辑的问题，真的是非常非常可惜哦，真是大白痴。就是好，这真的是我的不足，然后我还需要再加油的地方。但是呢，我觉得还是可以非常非常的期待他即将要发行的新专辑《Bewitched》。然后喜欢雷贝的朋友，不要忘记去关注他的 IG、他的社群平台，然后多听他的歌。让我们一起期待他会再回来台北开演唱会吧。